sat alone in the control room of Mining Station Gamma 7. The lights were dim. The machines hummed softly around him. Outside the thick windows, a million stars burned in the darkness of space. He had been alone on this station for 2 years now. 2 years of silence. 2 years of work. 2 years of trying to forget. Was 34 years old. His hands were rough from years of fixing machines. His eyes were tired but sharp. He had once been a military engineer on a warship called the Morning Star. He had been good at his job. He had kept his crew alive through battles and accidents and the cold emptiness of space. Until he could not. The accident happened 3 years ago. A reactor failure had tried everything to stop it. He had worked for 16 hours straight, but in the end 12 people died. His friends, his family in space. The military said it was not his fault. The reactor was old. The parts were bad. No one could have saved them. But did not believe that. He should have checked the reactor more carefully. He should have seen the warning signs. He should have been better. So he left the military. He came to this small station at the edge of human space. He fixed mining equipment. He lived alone. He tried not to think about the past. Tonight was like any other night. Was checking the scanner readings from the asteroid belt. The scanners looked for valuable metals in the floating rocks. Usually, they found nothing interesting. But tonight was different. A red light flashed on his screen. The computer showed an energy reading that made no sense. It was not coming from an asteroid. It was coming from something else, something moving. Leaned forward in his chair. His heart beat a little faster. In 2 years, nothing interesting had ever happened here. Ships did not come to this part of space. There was nothing here worth visiting. He adjusted the scanners and looked more closely at the signal. The energy pattern was strange. It did not match any human ship he knew. It did not match anything in the computer's records. Made a decision. He walked to the small hangar where his salvage tug waited. The tug was an ugly little ship with powerful engines and strong cables. He used it to pull broken equipment back to the station for repairs. 20 minutes later, he was flying through the asteroid belt toward the signal. What he found made him stop breathing. It was a ship, but it was unlike any ship he had ever seen. The design mixed smooth, flowing curves with sharp crystal structures. The metal looked almost alive, like the skin of some great creature. Blue lights flickered weakly along its surface. The ship was badly damaged. Great holes had been torn through its side. Burn marks covered the hull. Whatever had happened to this vessel, it had been violent. Knew he should call Earth Command. He should report an alien ship. He should wait for officials to arrive. But something stopped him. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was the engineer in him wanting to understand this beautiful broken machine. Maybe it was something else entirely. He attached his cables to the alien ship and slowly pulled it back to his station. The trip took 3 hours. When he finally got the ship into his repair bay, put on his space suit and walked through the airlock. Inside the alien ship, everything was dark. The air was thin and cold. The walls were covered with symbols he could not read. Strange machines hung from the ceiling like sleeping animals. Then he heard it, a sound, a weak, painful sound. Followed the noise to a small room near the center of the ship. There, lying on the floor, was the pilot. She was not human. She had 4 arms. Her skin was pale blue, almost white. Her eyes were large and silver like mirrors. She wore a thin suit that seemed to be made of light. Blood, dark purple in color, pooled beneath her. She was dying. The alien saw and tried to move away. Fear filled her strange eyes. She said something in a language he did not understand. Her voice was weak and filled with pain. Held up his hand slowly. He did not have weapons. He did not want to hurt her. He just wanted to help. "I am not going to harm you," he said softly. "I am a friend." The alien watched him for a long moment. Then something changed in her eyes. She seemed to understand not his words but his meaning. "Help," she whispered in broken universal standard. "Please." Moved quickly. He carefully lifted her with gentle hands and carried her back to his station. The alien was lighter than he expected, as if her bones were hollow like a bird's. In his medical room, he worked through the night. Her biology was different from human biology, but the basics were the same. She had blood that needed to stay inside her body. She had wounds that needed to close. She had organs that needed to work. He modified his medical machines. He guessed at the right treatments. He made mistakes and fixed them. He refused to let her die. By morning she was stable. Her breathing was slow but steady. The bleeding had stopped. She would live. Sat beside her bed, exhausted. He had not slept in 20 hours. His hands were shaking from too much coffee and too much fear. The alien opened her silver eyes and looked at him. "Why?" she asked in that broken voice. Thought about the question. Why had he helped her? Why had he risked everything for a stranger from the stars? "Because you needed help," he said simply, "and I was here." The alien studied his face for a long time. Then she spoke again. "My name is, I am a vessel keeper of the people." She paused and took a painful breath. "You must not contact anyone. You must not tell others I am here." Frowned. "Why not?" Fear returned to her eyes. Real fear, deep fear. "Because they are hunting me," whispered. They destroyed my ship. They killed my crew. They will not stop until they find me." She reached out with one of her 4 hands and grabbed his arm. Her grip was surprisingly strong. "If they learn you helped me, they will kill you too." Looked at this strange creature from another world. He thought about the smart thing to do, the safe thing to do. Then he thought about 12 people who died because he was not good enough. "Tell me about your ship," he said. "Tell me what needs to be fixed." Stared at him with her mirror eyes. "You would help me. You do not even know me." Smiled tiredly. "I am an engineer. I fix things that are broken. Your ship is broken." He shrugged. "It is what I do." For the first time, something like hope appeared on his alien face. Outside the station, the stars continued to burn in silence. Somewhere in that vast darkness, hunters were searching. But for now, in this small place at the edge of human space, a broken ship waited for repair. And had work to do. 3 weeks passed on mining station Gamma 7. 3 weeks of impossible work. Had never seen technology like this before. The alien ship was not built like human ships. It was not made of simple metal and wire. It was alive. The walls breathed. The engines had a heartbeat. The computer systems grew like plants, spreading through the ship in patterns that seemed almost random. When touched the controls, he could feel them responding to his thoughts. It was beautiful. It was terrifying. It was the greatest challenge he had ever faced. Every day worked for 18 hours. He studied the ship systems. He tested different repairs. He failed again and again. But slowly, piece by piece, he began to understand. The ship's power came from crystals that captured starlight. The engines bent space itself to travel between stars. The hull could heal small wounds by itself, like skin closing over a cut. But the damage was too great for the ship to heal alone. The weapons had torn through vital systems. Without help, the ship would never fly again. So did something no one had ever done before. He combined human engineering with alien biology. Where the crystal power systems were broken, he added human batteries. Where the living metal was torn, he welded in steel plates. Where the organic computers were dead, he connected human processors. It was ugly work, it was desperate work, but slowly the ship began to wake up. Watched him from her bed at first. She was too weak to move, but as the days passed she grew stronger, her wounds closed, her silver eyes became bright again. She started helping him. She explained how the ship's systems worked. She showed him which parts were most important. She taught him the language of her people, word by word. "You learn quickly," said one evening. "Most species take years to understand technology. You have done it in weeks. Wiped oil from his hands. I have been fixing machines my whole life. Machines make sense to me. They have problems, they have solutions, you just have to find them. Tilted her head in a gesture he had learned meant curiosity. Your species is very young. Humans have only traveled between stars for a few hundred years. They have existed for millions of years. The for almost as long, she paused. Yet you understand things that should be beyond you. Maybe that is because we are young, said. We do not know what is impossible, so we just try everything until something works. Made a sound that might have been a laugh. That is either very foolish or very wise. I cannot decide which. As the days continued, told him more about the galaxy. The universe was full of life, she explained. Thousands of species had spread across millions of worlds. Most of them were old. Most of them were tired. They were keepers of ancient things. They maintained old space routes. They protected old knowledge. They helped lost travelers find their way. They had not fought a war in 100,000 years. Then the came. The Dominion was an empire built on fear. They conquered world after world. They took what they wanted. They destroyed what they did not need. Their black ships were the terror of 100-star systems. They attacked our convoy without warning, said quietly. 50 ships, 3,000 of my people. They destroyed them all in minutes. Her four hands trembled as she spoke. I was carrying something important, coordinates, the location of it is hidden. It has been hidden for 1,000,000 years. They want to find it. They want to take our knowledge, our technology. Her silver eyes met. They will do anything to capture me. Understood now. Was not just a survivor. She was the key to saving or destroying her entire civilization. We will get you home, he said. I promise. You should not make promises you cannot keep, replied. Smiled, I always keep my promises. He contacted his old friend Park for supplies, worked at a supply depot 2 star systems away. She was one of the few people still talked to. She had known him before the accident. She did not ask questions about his strange requests. Quantum processors, said over the communication screen. Her face showed confusion. Crystal growth medium, what are you building out there? A surprise, he said. Can you get the parts? Sighed, I can get anything, you know that. But listen, I have to warn you about something. Someone has been asking about unusual salvage reports in your area, official types, military maybe. Felt cold, what did you tell them? Nothing, I do not know anything, she paused. Be careful, old friend. Whatever you are doing out there, be careful. The supplies arrived 3 days later, worked faster now. Time was running out. On the 19th day, the alien ship's engines hummed to life. The sound was strange and beautiful, like music from another world. Blue light flowed through the hull. The crystal structures began to glow. Stood in the center of her ship, all 4 arms raised. Tears ran down her pale face. I never thought I would hear this again, she whispered. Stood beside her, covered in grease and exhausted beyond words, but he was smiling. The engines work, the hull is sealed, the navigation systems are online. He pointed to a section where human wires connected to alien crystals. It is not pretty, but it will fly. Turned to look at him. Her silver eyes held something deep, respect perhaps, or wonder. Among my people there is a title given to those who save ships from death. We call them soul menders. It is the highest honor a vessel keeper can receive. She placed one of her hands on his shoulder. You have earned this title. No matter what happens next, you are a soul mender. Did not know what to say, he just nodded. There is something else you should know, continued. The do not give up. They have trackers, hunters who never stop searching. They will find this place eventually. When they do, they will come with overwhelming force. Then you should leave now, said, while you can. Shook her head. The ship needs 2 more days to fully charge its systems. If I leave too soon, I will not have enough power to reach space. 2 days looked out the window at the endless stars. Somewhere out there, black ships were hunting, searching, getting closer. Then we wait, he said, and we hope 2 days is enough. That night did not sleep. He sat in his control room watching the scanners. The screens showed nothing but rocks and stars and empty space. But knew that emptiness was a lie. They were coming. He could feel it in his bones. He thought about running. He could take his salvage tug and fly away, leave and her ship behind, save himself. But he knew he would never do that. He had made a promise, and always kept his promises. Besides, he had already failed to save people once. He would not fail again. In the repair bay, ship continued to charge. Its blue glow grew stronger hour by hour. 2 more days, just 2 more days. Stared at the darkness between the stars and waited for the hunters to arrive. The alarms woke from a dream about fire and screaming. He jumped from his chair so fast that he knocked over his coffee cup. The brown liquid floated in the low gravity as he ran to the scanner station. His heart was pounding. His hands were shaking. The screens told him what he already feared. 3 contacts, large contacts, moving fast. They had appeared from faster-than-light travel less than a minute ago, and they were now sitting in space directly outside his station. Zoomed the cameras and felt his stomach drop. The ships were massive. Each one was at least 50 times bigger than his entire mining station. They were angular and sharp, like knives made of black metal. Weapons covered every surface. Red lights glowed along their hulls like angry eyes. Warships, 3 of them. Behind him, the door opened, stepped into the control room. She moved to his side and looked at the screens. Her face went pale. "They found us," she whispered. A light flashed on the communication panel. Someone was sending a message. Hesitated for a moment, then opened the channel. A face appeared on the screen. It was not human. The creature had skin pulled tight over a skull-like head. Its eyes were small and black, like holes in its face. Sharp teeth filled a mouth that seemed too wide. "Human," the creature said. Its voice was cold and flat. "I am commander of the Dominion. You have something that belongs to us." Forced himself to stay calm. "I do not know what you're talking about." Made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Do not waste my time with lies. We tracked the vessel to this location. We know the pilot is alive. We know you have been hiding her." The commander leaned closer to the camera. His black eyes seemed to look right through. "You have 1 hour to surrender the female. If you do not, we will destroy your station and take her from the wreckage. The choice is yours." The screen went dark. Stood very still. His mind was racing through options. His station had no weapons, no shields, no military value at all. Against 3 warships, he had absolutely nothing. Touched his arm. "You must give me to them." Turned to face her. "What?" "You heard him. They will destroy this station. They will kill you." Her silver eyes were sad but determined. "I will not let you die for me. I am not worth that." "You are worth exactly that," said firmly. "You are carrying the location of your billions of lives depend on you. And your life does not matter." Thought about that question. For 2 years, he had lived alone on this station because he believed his life did not matter. He had been waiting to die slowly, quietly, without bothering anyone. But now, standing here with death waiting outside his windows, he realized something had changed. He did not want to die anymore. He wanted to fight. "My life matters," he said. "So does yours, so we are going to find a way to save both of us." He walked to the communication panel and sent a message on an encrypted channel. It would take time to reach its destination, but it was their only hope. "What are you doing?" asked. "Calling for help. Earth Defense has ships in this sector. If they get my message, they might send someone." "How long will that take?" Did not want to answer. 16 hours, maybe more. The hope in his eyes faded. "We only have 1 hour. Then we need to buy more time." Sat down at his control station and started typing. How long until your ship is fully charged? 8 hours. 8 hours. He needed to keep 3 warships away for 8 hours with nothing but a mining station and his brain. It was impossible, completely impossible. Smiled. He had always been good at impossible things. He opened the communication channel again. His face appeared on the screen immediately. Have you made your decision, human? Yes, said. I cannot give you the right now. His eyes narrowed. Then you have chosen death. Wait, held up his hand. I said I cannot give her to you now, not that I will not give her to you at all. The commander paused. Confusion crossed his face. Continued quickly. The female is badly injured. If I move her now, she will die. Then you will have nothing, no pilot, no information, no coordinates. You lie, growled. I am an engineer, not a doctor, said. I have been keeping her alive with basic medical equipment. If your people have better medical technology, you can come and see her condition yourself. But if you attack this station, she dies. And then you go back to your masters with nothing. Stared at him for a long moment. Could almost see the thoughts moving behind those black eyes. The commander wanted to destroy the station, but he also wanted his prize. 30 minutes, finally said. You have 30 minutes to prepare her for transfer. If she dies during the transfer, you die as well. The screen went dark again. Grabbed his shoulder. What are you doing? You cannot give me to them. I am not going to give you to them, said. He stood up and started walking toward the repair bay. I just bought us 30 more minutes. Now help me prepare. Prepare for what? Looked around his station. At the mining equipment, the ore processors, the industrial lasers, the tons of explosive charges used to break apart asteroids. He was not a soldier. He had no weapons. But he was an engineer, and everything could be a weapon if you thought about it the right way. They think humans are primitive, said softly. They think we are young and weak and stupid. They have no idea what we can do when we are protecting someone we care about. He turned to with fire in his eyes. I am going to show them why that is a mistake. For the next 30 minutes, worked faster than he had ever worked in his life. He mining drones to carry explosive charges. He adjusted the industrial lasers to their maximum power. He prepared the ore processors to create electromagnetic pulses. His station was not a weapon, but it was about to become one. When the 30 minutes ended, sent a shuttle to collect. The small craft approached the station slowly, carefully. It never arrived. Fired the mining laser. The beam cut through the shuttle like a knife through paper. The explosion lit up the darkness of space. Seconds later, his communication panel screamed with an incoming message. His face appeared, twisted with rage. You dare attack the Dominion? Stood tall in front of the camera. His voice was steady and calm. This station is under the protection of the Earth Defense Force. Any attack on this station is an act of war against humanity. Leave now or face the consequences. It was a lie. No one was coming to help, but did not know that. You are one human on a tiny station, the commander snarled. You have no power here. Then come and take what you want, replied. I will be waiting. He cut the communication and looked out the window at the 3 black ships. 8 hours. He just needed to survive for 8 hours. The first missiles launched toward his station and prepared to fight. The missiles came fast. Had already moved. He released a cloud of mining debris from the station's external containers. Thousands of small rocks and metal fragments spread out in front of the station. The missiles hit the cloud and exploded early, their sensors confused by the sudden obstacles. The station shook but held together. That will not work twice, said. She stood at a secondary control panel, watching the enemy ships on the scanner. It does not need to work twice, replied. His fingers flew across the keyboard. It just needs to work once. He launched the mining drones. 20 small machines flew out from the station in different directions. Each one carried enough explosives to crack an asteroid. Each one was now a weapon. The warships detected the drones and opened fire. Red beams of light cut through space. One drone exploded, then another, then three more. But the remaining drones were fast. They scattered like insects, making themselves difficult targets. Two drones reached the nearest warship and slammed into its hull. The explosions were small against the massive ship, but they left marks, burned scars on the black metal. His voice came through the communication system. "You think these toys can hurt us? You think this changes anything?" Did not answer. He was too busy working. He activated the ore processors. The huge machines normally crushed rocks and separated valuable metals from worthless stone. Now they did something else. They overloaded their power systems and released massive electromagnetic pulses. The pulses spread out from the station in invisible waves. They washed over the warships like water over rocks. On the scanner watched the enemy ships flicker. Their lights dimmed. Their weapons went quiet for a few precious seconds. "Their shields are down," shouted. Fired the mining laser again. This time, the beam hit the nearest warship directly. It burned through the outer hull and reached something important inside. Secondary explosions rippled across the ship's surface. The warship was not destroyed. It was too big for that, but it was hurt. Screamed orders in his own language. The three warships pulled back, putting more distance between themselves and the station. Allowed himself a small smile. He had bought more time. But not enough. Far away on the Earth defense ship Indomitable, a young communications officer named Juno was finishing his shift. It had been a quiet night. No emergency signals. No distress calls. Just the usual background noise of space. Then his console beeped. Juno looked at the screen and frowned. A message had arrived on an old encrypted channel. The kind of channel that nobody used anymore. The kind that meant serious trouble. He opened the message and read it twice to make sure he understood. Then he ran to find his captain. Commander was in her quarters, reviewing crew reports. She was a small woman with short hair and eyes that had seen too many battles. She had served in the Earth Defense Force for 30 years. Not much surprised her anymore. But when Juno burst through her door without knocking, she put down her coffee. "Commander," Juno said between breaths, "we have a distress call from Mining Station Gamma 7. A citizen reports 3 unknown warships attacking his position." Frowned Gamma 7. "That is in the outer territories. There is nothing out there." "The message says the ships are not human. The citizen calls them." The name meant nothing to, but the situation was clear. A human citizen was under attack by unknown forces. That was all she needed to know. "How far are we from Gamma 7? 4 hours at maximum speed, Commander." 4 hours. A lot could happen in 4 hours. Stood up and grabbed her jacket. "Set course immediately. Contact the Resolute and the Defiant. Tell them to follow us. And get me everything we have on these." 10 minutes later, 3 Earth defense warships turned toward the outer territories and accelerated to maximum speed. Back on Mining Station Gamma 7, time was running out. Had used every trick he knew. He had launched more drones. He had created sensor interference with radioactive waste. He had even crashed a small asteroid into one of the warships using remote guidance systems. But they were adapting. They stayed far from the station now, beyond the range of his mining laser. They fired their weapons from a safe distance, slowly breaking apart his defenses. The station was dying. Lights flickered on and off. Whole sections had lost power. Fires burned in places he could not reach. Ship was almost fully charged. Just 2 more hours. "We are not going to make it," said quietly. She was standing beside him, her 4 hands working different control panels. "They are going to breach the station." Wiped blood from a cut on his forehead. Debris had hit him when the last explosion shook the control room. He was tired beyond words. His whole body hurt. But he was not done yet. "Go to your ship," he said. "Prepare to launch." "What are you going to do?" Looked at the scanner. They were preparing another attack. This one would be bigger than the others. They were tired of waiting. "I am going to buy you time," he said. "When you have enough power, you run. Do not wait for me. Do not look back, just go." Grabbed his arm with all four hands. "No, I will not leave you to die." "You have to," turned to face her. His eyes were calm, peaceful even. "Your people need those coordinates. Billions of lives depend on you getting home. My life is not worth more than that." "Your life is worth everything," said. Tears ran down her pale face. "You saved me. You fixed my ship. You stood against an empire to protect a stranger. How can you say your life is not worth anything?" Thought about her words. For 2 years, he had believed he deserved to die. He had carried the weight of 12 deaths on his shoulders every day. But standing here, looking at this alien woman who had become his friend, he realized something. He was not trying to die anymore. He was trying to live. He was trying to save someone. He was doing what he had always been meant to do. "If I die today," he said softly, "I will die knowing that I finally did something right." He gently removed her hands from his arm. "Go, that is an order." Looked at him for a long moment. Then she did something unexpected. She leaned forward and pressed her forehead against his. Among her people, it was a gesture of deep respect and love. "You are the bravest soul I have ever known," she whispered. "I will remember you forever." Then she turned and ran toward the repair bay. Watched her go, then he turned back to his controls. The warships were moving into attack formation. Was done playing games. This next strike would destroy the station completely. Had one more card to play. His station was anchored to a large asteroid. The rock was full of mining tunnels, most of them packed with explosive charges for breaking apart ore deposits. He had been saving those explosives for a reason. "Commander," he said, opening the communication channel one more time. "Before you attack, I want you to know something." The face appeared on his screen, looked tired and angry. "What is it, human? More lies, more tricks." "No tricks this time," smiled. "I just want you to remember this moment. Remember the day you learned what humans can do." He entered the final command. Deep inside the asteroid, hundreds of explosive charges began to activate. The destruction was about to begin. The asteroid exploded. Not all at once, but in a pattern that had carefully designed. The first charges broke the rock into massive pieces. The second wave pushed those pieces outward. The third wave accelerated them to deadly speeds. A storm of stone and metal flew toward the warships. Screamed orders at his crew. The 3 warships tried to move, tried to dodge, but the debris field was too large and too fast. The first warship took a piece of asteroid the size of a building directly through its engine section. Fire erupted from the wound. The ship began to spin out of control. The second warship was luckier. It managed to activate its shields, but the shields could not stop everything. Smaller rocks punched through the barrier and damaged weapon systems. The third warship's flagship used other ships as cover. It survived mostly intact, but it was now alone against a cloud of deadly debris. Did not wait to see the results. He was already running through the station's broken hallways, heading for the repair bay. The walls were on fire. The floor was cracked. Warning alarms screamed from every direction. His home for 2 years was dying around him. He reached the repair bay just as ship was powering up for launch. The alien vessel glowed bright blue now, fully charged and ready to fly. Its systems hummed with power. The hybrid repairs had created held strong. Was at the controls. She saw him enter and her eyes went wide. "You should have launched," said, breathing hard. "I told you I would not leave you behind." There was no time to argue. An explosion rocked the station. Part of the ceiling collapsed. Through the hole could see space itself. The station's air was escaping. "We need to go now," he said. He ran toward the ship, opened the airlock and pulled him inside. The door sealed behind them just as the repair bay tore apart. His hands flew across the alien controls. The ship lifted off and shot through the opening where the repair bay used to be. Outside, chaos filled space. Debris was everywhere. 2 warships were badly damaged and trying to withdraw. Only his flagship was still capable of fighting. And it was turning toward them. "They are targeting us," said. Fear filled her voice. Looked at the alien control panel. He did not understand most of it, but he recognized some parts from his repair work. "Activate the cloaking system," he said. "The cloak is damaged. It will not last long." "Make it last long enough." Touched a crystal on the panel. The ship shimmered and vanished from sight. On the scanner, watched flagship searching for them. The cloak held for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Then it failed. The flagship locked onto them immediately. Weapons began to charge. Grabbed hand. "I am sorry, I should have launched sooner." Squeezed her hand back. "Do not be sorry, we did everything we could." The flagship's weapons fired. And then 3 new ships appeared from faster-than-light travel. The Earth defense ships Indomitable, Resolute, and Defiant arrived in perfect formation. They were smaller than the flagship, but they were fresh and undamaged and ready to fight. Commander's voice cut through all frequencies like a blade. "Unknown vessels, this is Commander of the Earth Defense Force. You are attacking a human citizen in human space. Power down your weapons immediately or we will destroy you." His response was immediate. His flagship turned its weapons toward the new arrivals. That was a mistake. The 3 human ships opened fire together. Their weapons were different from weapons. They used kinetic energy, not beam weapons. Solid projectiles moving at incredible speeds. The flagship's shields flickered under the assault. The 2 damaged warships tried to move forward to support their commander, but they were too hurt to fight effectively. The battle lasted less than 5 minutes. When it was over, all 3 warships were running. His flagship had holes in its hull. The other 2 ships were barely able to fly. They vanished into faster-than-light travel, retreating to wherever they had come from. Ship floated in the debris field, untouched. Sat in the pilot's seat, staring at the human warships through the viewport. He could not believe what he was seeing. "They came," he whispered. "They actually came." Commander's voice came through the communication system again, softer this time. "Mining Station Gamma 7, this is the Indomitable. We received your distress call. We are here to assist. Please respond." Laughed. It started quiet and grew louder. He laughed until tears ran down his face. "This is," he finally said. "Thank you for coming, Commander. I have a lot to explain." 2 hours later was lying in the medical bay of the Indomitable. He had burns on his arms, a broken rib, a mild concussion. The doctors said he was lucky to be alive. He did not feel lucky. He felt exhausted and peaceful and strangely happy. The door opened and walked in. She had been speaking with Commander about what happened. "How are you feeling?" asked. "Like I was hit by an asteroid," smiled weakly. "What did the Commander say?" Sat down beside his bed. Her silver eyes were soft. "She said many things. She wanted to know about my people, about the galaxy beyond human space." Paused. "I told her everything." "Everything." "Everything." Reached out and took his hand in one of hers. "I also made a request. I asked permission to speak with human leadership about forming an alliance between thee and humanity." His eyebrows rose. "An alliance?" "My people have knowledge, technology, wisdom gathered over millions of years. We could share these things with humanity." Squeezed his hand. "You showed me what humans truly are. You protect strangers. You fight when you cannot win. You create when you should only destroy. You never give up, even when giving up is the logical choice. She leaned closer. The rule through fear. They believe power comes from making others afraid, but they have never met beings like you. Humans are not afraid. Humans fight back. Humans protect each other. Her voice dropped to a whisper. The galaxy needs that right now. The galaxy needs you. Did not know what to say. He had spent 2 years hiding at the edge of space, believing he had nothing left to offer. Now he was being told that he had helped change the future of an entire civilization. What happens now? He asked. Now the galaxy learns about humanity, smiled. It was a strange expression on her alien face, but somehow it looked right. Some species will fear you. The certainly will. When returns to his masters, he will tell them about the human who stood alone against 3 warships and won. I did not win alone. The defense force saved us. You survived long enough for them to arrive. That is winning. Stood up but kept holding his hand. Others will hope. They will see that there is a species young enough to be brave and old enough to be wise. A species that protects strangers because it is the right thing to do. She paused at the door. In a universe full of ancient, tired civilizations, humanity is something new, something bright, something worth believing in. She left and was alone with his thoughts. He looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, a new chapter was beginning. Humans were about to step onto a much larger stage. The door opened again. A young officer entered looking nervous. Sir, the commander asked me to tell you that your friend is preparing to leave. She wanted to know if you wanted to say goodbye. Got out of bed, ignoring the pain in his ribs. He walked to the hangar bay where ship waited. She was standing by the airlock, all 4 hands clasped together. I have to return to my people, she said. I have to tell them what happened here, what you did. Will I see you again? Smiled. The universe is very large, but somehow I think we will meet again. She reached into a pocket and pulled out a small crystal. It glowed faintly blue. This is a vessel keeper's beacon. If you ever need me, activate it, I will come. Took the crystal. It was warm in his hand. Take care of yourself. And you, soul mender. She entered her ship. The engines hummed. The vessel rose gracefully and flew out of the hangar bay. Watched it disappear into the stars. Behind him, he heard footsteps. Commander appeared at his side. That was quite a story, mister, she said. I just did what needed to be done. Looked at him with something like respect. Earth Command will want to talk to you. They will have many questions about thee and about this alliance your friend proposed. Nodded. His life was about to change completely. And after that, he asked. Smiled slightly. After that, mister, I believe the universe will need more engineers, people who fix things, people who do not give up. She paused. Would you be interested? Thought about his small station at the edge of space, his lonely life, his quiet death. Then he thought about the stars, about everything waiting out there. Yes, he said, I would be very interested. The stars burned bright beyond the windows. And stepped forward to meet them.